Usually when you have people testing, you have like 20 employees. We had all our employees test the product. We wanted to make sure our team knew this product. And the only way they could understand it is if they physically had an account with us and physically had to go through the sign on process. Because when you're sitting across from a member, they want to know that you understand this product.
Sometimes overdoing it on feedback and research saves a lot of money. Today, we're talking with Kevin Dougherty, COO of credit union Addition Financial. Kevin shares the drivers that led to an overhaul of their digital experience and how they discovered and tested the requirements that drove not only their technology decisions, but also evolved their overall member experience. Kevin, thanks for being with us today.
Rich, thanks for having me on. I really look forward to talking today.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got into your background and how you got into your current position as COO at Addition?
I started my career 30 plus years working for Fiserv doing conversions into credit unions and absolutely love the industry. I mean, I found that it was refreshing. It was a new look. They truly cared about their members and their employees. It was that whole holistic view. From there, I went to work for US Airways Credit Union in Pittsburgh, spent about 10, 11 years up there. I was VP of technology up there. And then about 21 years ago, I was recruited to CFE Federal Credit Union, which is now Addition Financial. I came in as the chief technology officer. As we grew, we were about 760 million when I landed here. Today we're approaching 3 billion in assets. And as the company grew, I started to take on responsibility, hired some good people, hired the current chief technology officer. Actually, I hired him. As a good leader, you always promote those, and he got promoted as chief technology officer. And I came in and took on more of member facing. I've managed the lending area, had someone, and she got promoted off to chief lending officer. But I sit as chief operating officer. We have 26 branches here in Orlando, 10 high school branches or 11 high school branches completely run by students, and a member contact center, member experience and sales.
So
Yeah.
that's I will say traditionally that seems to be unusual to have somebody come up through the IT, the technology side and get into operations that's much more somebody with finance, kind of chief risk officer, that kind of pedigree. That's probably changing going forward. But, if we're looking back across your time period, that's unusual. Did you find that difficult to make that shift? Or were there hurdles to that for you? Or
You
things you felt you had to kind of like fill in the blank on?
I was very fortunate. I had some leaders under me who were around for a lot of years. My senior vice president of operations has been with Addition Financial for 37 years. And when I first took on the role, I was very honest with her. I said, look, there's some things I know, there's things I don't know, and I'm going to be very humble and say, I don't know, help me. So together she helped me, I helped her. Being in technology and then sitting in operations, the best part of this is I can see through. So I can see from the member transaction and understand the process as it goes back through the computer systems and everything else and networks and all the stuff that makes things happen behind the curtain. So there's always learning curves. I learned today. I have an outstanding team. My two direct reports, I always say, I don't have all the answers. We're going to have the answers together. We're going to find it. The best part of the culture here at Addition Financial is guess what? We make mistakes, and we're going to make mistakes as long as we learn by them and we move on. But part of learning is making mistakes. So I've made them, but today it's more about managing people, managing the people. My team is roughly about 300 employees come up through my team. And it's getting out, getting them to know me. My favorite joke is please don't call me Mr. Dougherty. That was my dad. I love him dearly. My name's Kevin. Is just breaking that barrier, because when you break the barrier with them, it's amazing what we learn and what we learn together.
So, one of parts of your scope is member experience. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, what are some of the things that you have done kind of in that role, and how you've approached that? Everybody has a story about kind of pre and post 2020 about how things have changed. So, what did that kind of mean to you, and maybe what's unique about where you are in Florida, and aspects of your demographics?
Yeah, I mean, members, it's for us to move forward and for us to grow. I think we always need to understand what the member perspective is. And we learn from, is it we need to do a better of educating our members, or do we physically have a process or a system or something that needs to be fixed, updated, taken out, all the above, whatever. But we do surveys. We're surveying. We started out with our surveys very general. Um, I don't like surveys that are 20 or 30 questions. And I said, we started out with eight questions, 9 questions. And we did find out that we just weren't getting enough oomph. So we started rephrasing them. We started narrowly focusing. And, one of them, as we moved into our new digital platform, is we focused at some general areas of, what do you like about our digital platform? Where do we need to improve? If we see something out there, where we try to go out and tackle it. Of course, we're doing the nuts and bolts stuff. You do the transactional stuff. Is member comes over the counter, you're taking random and you're firing at them to see how was the service, because at the end of the day, it's all about the service. If you don't have good service, our money is green. So is every other credit union. So is every other bank. What differentiates us is the service we provide to the members and the technology. The technology we have to offer. Our technology has to be. It has to be. I don't think it has to be bleeding edge, but I think you have to be on the leading side of technology.
So
So
on the survey side, how much of that have you done internally versus working with a vendor or an agency?
we do it. We use Qualtrics as our survey stuff, and we survey in and out. So we do internal surveys, so departmental support stuff like that, and we also do external surveys, and it's very beneficial to understand. The other thing we do is our CEO Kevin Miller is really is he drives culture in our company. We also do the Dennison survey. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Dennison is well known for culture. And we've done since he's been in charge. He's been in charge CEO here at 7 years at Additional Financial. We've been doing the Dennison survey, and really it's about learning, what are people saying to us? What can we learn from it? How do we make change? And when the surveys come out, he sends stuff out, and I send stuff out to my team and say, look, if you want change in our company, Dennison is where we're going to change, because we all sit and we talk about it. And I read all the comments of my team. If they submit stuff, I read it. It's generalized. I don't know Rich, if you took a survey, I don't know if you took it, or I don't know it was physically you. I knew that, someone from this branch took it. So I can look from a brand's perspective and see what that culture is. I can zoom up to see my entire team. I can zoom up and see the entire company. So, it's learning. And the same thing with member experiences is, if you start to see something, you can zoom in and start to get feedback and figure out where it is. Our MPS is hovering somewhere around 67, I think. I think it's in that. We're making some more adjustments. We're making some of it. We expect to see some drops in the MPS because, um, of the changes we're making to the questions. Because we think we were too general. I think we're trying to refine it more so we get better answers, because the better answers makes us a better organization.
So what's an example of maybe an insight that led you to take action to kind of really either change your strategy or change behavior or change something that came out of this survey, either inside or outside?
Um, I think digital banking was probably one of the big things that pushed us. Is when we went to digital transformation, is there was constant feedback from our members stating that our product was adequate. It wasn't good. Um, they weren't always good at articulating what good was, but and we saw this, that we were on a system that was coming to end of life. It was bought by one of the big providers out there in the industry, and so we knew we needed to change. And we knew from a technology point we needed to change, but we also needed to change look and feel and the ability to change stuff internally with payments. It's all about payments today, about fast payments. And our members want to be able to move funds if they're paying their Amex bill, they're paying our bill, their credit union Visa, they're paying their car payment here, they're paying their mortgage. They want it fast, or they want to move money between you and I. They want it fast. So from the consumer or from the member side or the consumer side of the business, is that was one of the critical table stakes. The other piece of it is business, is the business piece. We're adding treasury, we're adding access to the business side. So we do business lending here, but it's more on, the lending, the lending side, not the deposit side. And the only way to pick up that deposit side is to have a robust digital banking platform. And we went to Lumen Digital. Lumen Digital provided that for us.
And so a lot of those requirements were coming from this aspect of experience. What it is we need are I'm assuming both current and kind of where you wanted to grow. Like for example, like where were you getting the requirements for your deposit business banking, for example?
For business or the business side?
I mean both. You know,
Okay.
if you're kind of looking to grow, if part of this is we need more deposits, it's going to come from several segments. If you did not have a significant presence there, and I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here a little bit, right? Because I'm
Right.
thinking of it as like somebody who wants to replicate the growth that you've had to kind of get to the level where you're at. When they're thinking, I want to have this as part of my portfolio, but I don't have it yet. How are you figuring out exactly it's this type of feature? Or when somebody says fast, they mean right now, instant or an hour or a day, right? Getting that level of granularity and requirements that help you make, for example, the platform decisions for the technology.
Well, we went from the survey results and looked at them. We also then took that and went into focus groups where we kind of narrowed it down, where, again, we were behind the curtain. We hired someone and we went through this process where we were able to really push some very detailed questions or focus questions at some of the stuff. Is what do you mean by faster deposits? What does that look like? Because faster deposits to you and to me, it could be something different. So these focus groups really helped us refine down what we really needed. From the business side, it was we need multiple access. I got 6 employees. I want six different account sign-ons. I want to be able to do treasury. I want to be able to do sweep accounts. So it helped us give us the foundation as we started to go look for a product. These are the kind of the table stakes that we needed for a new platform. And it
And were you
grabbed me.
using that for like discovery? Like, give me the list of things that I need, or hey, we have something we think is right, and like let's confirm or deny that.
I think it was a little both. I mean,
Mhm.
you discovery out of it, you always learn. And we all had some of our own ideas. And, I think sometimes we're right. I think sometimes we think we're right. And we find out sometimes it's halfway in the middle. So, and it was the members that we from surveys and from focus groups it was a reinforcement is, okay, yeah, we are on the right track. We are making, this is the right decision. So, it's a little both.
And what was time frame on this? Like, we have an inkling that we wanna do this to we have this project that we're running now, and we're kind of engaging third parties and help to the project is kicked off.
So the project kicked off, yeah, yeah, probably we signed stuff at the end of the year. Um, our live date was July 23rd. We didn't want to do it for the July. So the PMO group, which had technology and everyone else, worked through the process. Now, one of the interesting things that we did is, usually when you have people testing, you have like 20 employees. We had all our employees test the product. And this is the first time Lumen came across this, and they were kind of shocked. And the reason behind it is we wanted to make sure our team knew this product. And the only way they could understand it is if they physically had an account with us and physically had to go through the sign on process. Because when you're sitting across from a member, they want to know that you understand this product. And it helped. In fact, going forward, my understanding is they want to do more of this because it made our conversion go extremely smooth. I mean, again, at the end of the first week, our first couple days in the contact center was pretty rough. The numbers were strong. We probably tripled the amount of calls that we took on a daily basis. We opened up early. We went from 7 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. Um, and we did that for the first week. And after the first week, we could see our abandonment rate going from X to by Wednesday, Thursday, our abandonment rate was back down under 10%. So,
And
eh,
roughly number of members that this was did you roll it out to your entire membership at once, or was
everyone, we all at once, well, you have to cut over with the, in the old days, you could move the passwords, you could do all that. Today, with the encryption and everything else, you need to be able, you got to sign everyone up from day one and collect all that data. So, I mean, it went. Lumen was a great partner, but and the other thing we did here at Additional Financial is everything stopped. We knew that this has major impact on the employees, major impact on the members, that there was no other projects during this first 6 months of the year. The only thing we focused at is the Lumen digital conversion, and it paid off in spades. I mean, our members, our rating, I was just looking at the reviews on it, 4.7 out of 5. During the first week, we had our contact center. We had a triage center that if the contact center couldn't handle it, and then we had a couple people that were like super triage. We only had 4 people go to the super triage people the entire week we were there. Google reviews, our average Google review is 4.7 for all our branches. We had, I think we only had a few reviews that were that needed to be addressed, and once we called them, helped the member out, the member was happy. So, and the true proof of what we accomplished is again, you're taking on a product that is for all the membership. It's just not for one group. And no, your seniors, the adoption rate, it takes time. They get comfortable with stuff and they move to it quickly. They had very few problems. I was plugging in with the contact center. I go down and just plug in with some of them, and I was listening to them. And yeah, the call, they're like, "Oh my God, this is so easy. This makes it so easy." I was really afraid that I was going to have problems, and we walked through it. The other thing we did is we used Coconut for scheduling for appointments and stuff like that. So what we did is, every branch, I said to the branch leaders, I said, "Look, all the members that struggle with this product or struggled when we had to move them into it during COVID. I said, do yourself a favor, call them and set up an appointment. So we set up appointments with members that we knew that were going to have issues and brought them in. And first off, they were thankful for the call. They were thankful for the service. And literally it took 5 minutes and they were out the door and they were happy and they were using the product.
And how big is your member base roughly?
Our membership's about 185,000
Okay.
members.
And
So,
that, I mean, that's the scale of dealing with that. Yeah. How about internally? I mean, you kind of you probably changed an awful lot of how particularly your member experience folks and people working in the branches, how they do their jobs and the things that they touch and feel and work with every day to serve members. What was their response? How what kind of feedback did you get there? And maybe what was the hard part of that process?
you know, one of the things that I always say I drive from my desk is the importance when we have a new member coming into the organization and is back to consultative, and it's consultative sales, but it's look, for the last 10 years, they said branches were going to go away and branches weren't going to exist. I don't think that's true. Is that branch transactions going down? Are we doing what we used to do? That answer is no. But when our members want to make significant transactions, a mortgage, they're buying a young couple buying a car for the first time, some of those big life changing stuff, they want to come in. They might research you from afar from our website and Google reviews and all this other stuff, but they want to come in and have that face to face transaction and they want to have that conversation. So it was just reinforcing with our team in the branches is first off is when they sit down to come in and open an account, have a conversation, talk to them. What do they need? What do they want? I think sometimes as a financial institution, we're something they have to have, but they don't always understand us. You know, not everyone, I mean, our base is very true middle class. They're very loyal. They're vocal. We're an old education credit union. So, but they're very loyal to us. Um, have that conversation, understand what their needs are. We develop products around, we came out with, we heard, Apple came out with their savings account was paying 4%. So we came out with one and we're at 5% at one point. We're, I think 3.9 today, but it was, here's an account. Maybe you can't afford to open a money market account and put 1,000 in, but you can go in and put $10 in this account and you're going to get this today. And members were like, we need this. I need this type of thing. And I didn't know you had it. So listening to the members, having those consultative conversations. And then when you're getting to the account point we instant issue debit cards. So that's a process and the machine takes a little bit to print them because they're blank stock. Here's the opportunity. Let's set up your home banking product. So they physically sit there with the member and walk them through, get them signed up, get them in. So it's more just reinforcing them, helping them through that process. And our employees are learning by that. Every time they come across something, they learn something new, it helps them with the next member. But the best part is they share it with one another and we all learn together.
So it sounds like a couple of the lessons learned, the things that you have done that are maybe atypical is a heavy reliance on feedback and survey in all of its different forms. Probably an overinvestment in testing slash training, that internal acceptance part. And then kind of really leaning into that conversation with the customer aspect that like, let's understand what you're really trying to do and proactively help you
Right.
get through the parts that are maybe going to be difficult for you. So, okay.
What do you want? What are you looking for in a home in a digital banking platform? What are you looking for? Oh, we have that. That as when I sign you up, we'll go through and we'll show you that some members is, well, I want to pay my credit card online. Well, if you have a credit card with us, your credit card shows up. You can do real-time transfers right to your credit card. It's done. You don't have to use bill pay. You don't have to use anything else. And that goes out and paid that night. Our mortgages are there, of course. And it's very like everyone else. I mean, real-time mortgage payments, real-time this. Again, the bigger piece is FedNow, real-time payments, getting moving money. The money movement piece is what they're looking for. That's how PayPal, Cash App, I know when I'm doing stuff around the house today is they don't want checks anymore. Do you use what or Venmo? Do you use these products? So it's important that back to understanding what the need is. And then as we get to understand the need, then you sell into the need. And just coming in and saying, I want to open an account, you could be missing half of what's there.
Well, Kevin, thank you very much for sharing your story. This is really interesting and some great lessons learned. If people want to learn more about Addition or you personally, where can they go for more information?
So they can come out to our website at additionfi.com or I'm on LinkedIn, Kevin Dougherty on LinkedIn. They can reach out to me and message me, and I'll be more than happy to reach back out to them.
And we'll have links to that in the show notes. Kevin, thanks again for being with us.
Rich, thanks so much. It was a great day. Appreciate your time.